Go short.
Okay, we will go ahead and get started. Please raise your hand and I'll call on you for questions. Anyone want to ask the first question? We have 3 people on. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh.
and I can go, Annette. Sorry, I was trying to figure out the raise hands on my phone.
Perfect. There you go. I want to make sure people.
Cool. Hi, Kurt. How are you doing today?
Great. Can you hear me? It's a little spotty. Everybody's a little in and out.
Okay. Can you hear me fine?
I can.
Okay, cool. I guess just kind of with facing the Sky again tomorrow in such a short span of time, what have you learned from those first few matchups that you're looking to take in to tomorrow's game?
As in every game in this league, it's the little things. And there's very little separation typically, even games where the score seems to get away. There's either a segment in the game or little things that add up over the course of the game. In the second game, it's 76, approximately 3 minutes to go in the game. And I think they score on a particular play 3 times in a row. I mean, they scored with a particular play down the stretch, and we turned it over 3 out of 4 possessions. So, we just didn't play well to the finish line in a game that was a very good second game. They're extremely talented. They have tons of weapons. So you pick your poison. You take away one thing, it opens opportunities for other actions, other players on their roster. So, you've just got to stick to what you do, not get frustrated, and just, try, to continue to believe and stay aggressive in both at the offensive end and what you believe in and the defensive end. The other aspect that jumps off the page with me not there in those games was our turnovers were such a big part. 19 turnovers on average against them in those 2 games. They're 3rd in transition points in the league. They're too efficient in fast break transition to turn the ball over. So, that helps our defense, as we always talk about. Good shot selection, low turnovers really helps your defense.
Brendan?
Hey, Kurt, on that subject of turnovers, even the first half against Dallas on Tuesday, those really hurt you guys. But then in the second half, when you made that run, they were cut back significantly. Just curious, what is your, outside of telling your team to try and play mistake-free basketball, what exactly is your message at a halftime or in a huddle? Do you specifically say, let's not turn the ball over? I'm just curious what your message is to try and get your team to lock in and cut back on them.
Yeah, I've always said coaching's the master of obvious. You foul too much, you tell people to stop fouling. You turn the ball over too much, you tell them to stop turning it over. So coaching sometimes the master of obvious. We turned the ball over 3 times in the second half, and obviously won by double digits. And because of that, they had 32 points. Well, our defense played harder. We played more efficiently. But part of that is you didn't give them points in transition. You got shots on goal. You were able to set up your half-court defense. So it's all correlated. The offensive end's connected to the defensive end. The defensive end's connected to the offensive end. In terms of turnover, one of my consistent messages is keep things simple. And not try to, make the home run pass, not, the risky passes, don't let the other team speed you up. We talk about tempo all the time and finding our tempo that we can be successful at. If we get sped up or we can speed people up, that's when you see turnovers happen. You usually typically see people playing too fast. And that's the case for us too. So, the message is keep things simple, find our tempo where we can be successful, and then keep moving the ball. When the ball sticks in this league, defenses load up. When the ball sticks, you watch, teams have a lot of success defensively because they're just so talented. slows down, it sticks. Everybody now is focused on the next action or the ball. And you see people start to, consecutive stops or start to turn people over. So the ball can't stick. That would be the other message.
And just wanted to discuss, I know we've talked about Brianna Jones before. It was a few weeks ago when you guys were, and you're still playing very well, don't get me wrong, but just you guys were on a nice run and Brianna was playing really well. And you had mentioned we wouldn't be where we are without the way she's playing. And now she doesn't get enough attention, I think was a line you used. And now, of course, she's scoring baskets, back-to-back games with career highs. Just with JJ out, what kind of have you noticed anything in particular here this last week or so that's changed in terms of her taking being more aggressive?
There's a concerted effort to play through the paint for us, and that's off the dribble with the guards. The first Chicago game, for example, there was a lot of penetration by guards into the paint, had some success. You saw some subtle adjustments by Chicago, took away some of those driving lanes, took away some of the driving opportunities by the guards. Now you had to play through Bree Jones. And so you got to get touches. But there's a concerted effort to play through the paint on our team. We know that it allows our three-point shooting to have better spacing. And Bree Jones has proven herself, as I said, and in the post game. You take away Griner, you take away fouls, maybe even an undersized 5 and Tina Charles, all 3 Olympians. Who's more efficient and who would you play through the most in the entire league right now? If you took away those 3 in the low block, who can you play through more efficiently than Bree Jones? That's a credit to her. And she's undervalued, underappreciated, but she has proven it. And you've seen it in the last 2 games. She can really score the ball. If you can get her the spacing, you can get her the ball in her spots. And it's always a challenge. It's easier said than done. But we have the team has tremendous confidence. We have, as a coaching staff, has tremendous confidence in Bree Jones.
Any other questions for Kurt?
Annette, your internet connection's not very good.
Thank you, Kurt.
Brendan. Just kidding. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Brendan.
You can go ahead and
Or Ned.
would like to go first and ask your questions.
Or Charlotte.
I can start. Oh, Ned, go ahead.
Afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm doing well. How are you?
Very tired.
Same.
All
right.
Now that you guys have been prepping for Chicago, what were some of your takeaways from watching film and whatnot from both games?
I think just building on our good stretches. I mean, we did a lot of good things. We executed well in stretches. We defended well in stretches, but against a good team like that, when you make a mistake, they're going to capitalize. So it's building off of those things and taking care of the ball. You can't beat a good team like that, especially a great team in transition, like they are, if you're turning over the ball, giving them easy runouts. That's momentum for them. Those are easy buckets that gets them going. So, just limiting turnovers, playing hard for 40 minutes, playing together, tightening up those stretches, executing offensive and defensively. I mean, we just got to show up and play hard. That's what you got to do against a good team.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh,
Annette, I don't know if you called on me, but I can go if you'd like.
Brendan.
Hi, Breon. Just wanted to, just on that subject of transition basketball, because I know Kurt talks about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You guys talk about it all the time, and you've been in this league a long time. So I'm just, from your standpoint, being in the league as long as you have, what are some keys for a good team to execute well in transition? So what are some things you think about or even your team thinks about that makes good transition basketball on both ends?
What makes good transition offense? Yeah. First of all is defending. It's getting stops. If you're getting stops, you're forcing turnovers, you're doing those things, it's easy to get out, attack them with numbers and get easy buckets, so your defense leads to offense in that regard. So tough defense, making the other team uncomfortable, putting them in positions where they're not, where they're not used to, forcing up shots, early quick shots, forcing them into early quick shots leads to transition on the other end as well. So that is the first thing. I mean, and then just having good spacing, having your wings get high and wide, get out quick, having your post run, you have a good rim runner to the middle of the rim that'll suck in your offense, the defense. That's an immediate threat. You have people scrambling, you have guards on your post, then you can attack out of that. And then after that, it's just keeping your head up and pushing, having multiple people who can push the ball. I think that gives you an advantage in a fast-paced situation as well. And I mean, I think we have that on our team, and I think Chicago does as well. So hopefully we have, hopefully you see our transition tomorrow, because we're going to play great defense, and hopefully we limit theirs.
And then just, on the subject of Chicago, they've got a lot of players that are scoring pretty close to double figures. They've got a lot of weapons. Just what's that like processing in terms of scouting a team that they've really got a balanced attack, and it could be anyone on any given night, because you look back at that game, was it last Saturday in Chicago, Candace really didn't get going until she didn't score her first basket till the fourth quarter. So it just comes to show, right? They've got weapons all over the place. Oh,
they do. And that's why our scouting is so important. We're a scout heavy team. And so it's playing tendencies, and, they move the ball, they get everybody involved, but after you guard the action, you have to know tendencies. So when we're scrambling, when we're absorbing on the weak side and we have to rotate out to our player, we know what they're going to go to. We know strong hands. We know their moves. We know, shooter, who we can close out soft to, who we can't. So that's a huge key of, trying to stop them, and it's hard when they have threats all over the place, but that just goes back to us needing to have activity on the defensive end. They're gonna run their sets, but what we have to do is have great activity, great energy, play tough, make them feel us always, whether that's a bump on a roller, that's a show on an on-ball screen, making sure they feel us all the time, so they're not in free motion and swinging the ball freely and really feeling really comfortable.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte, did you have a question?
Oh, Charlotte.
No, I'm good. Go. You're free, unless anyone else does.
Are we good?
You're good.
I'm good.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Right.
Okay, we'll go ahead and open it up some questions for Emma. Brendan, you can go first if you have one.
Hey, Emma. My name's
Hello.
Brendan. I'm one of the broadcasters with the team.
Okay.
Nice to meet you here.
Nice to meet you as well.
Just want to, it's the first time we get a chance to talk to you since you've been on board. You've made an impact in the minutes you've played, and just what's it like trying to fit in now? And I mean, at this point now, you're kind of acclimated a week or so in.
Yeah, I think, it's always hard to come into a team that's already established, but I'm thankful enough to know most of the girls already. And for the ones I didn't know, they welcomed me with open arms. So it's been a great opportunity. I'm loving every minute of it, and just trying to be the best that I can be when I do get an opportunity on the court.
How do you stay in your position? And it's really, I think it's interesting for players that come off the bench in the league, or even if they just play in a limited role, how do you stay ready? What's your mindset going into each game, staying ready?
I I mean, I'm still a professional athlete. So at the end of the day, whether I'm coming off the bench or I'm starting, if I finish a game or I don't finish a game, like you always have to have that ready mindset. So whenever my number is called or whenever Kurt tells me it's time for me to go in, I think the energy just runs through my body and I'm just ready to go.
And then I got one more. Brianna Jones is playing really well the last couple games, at least
Mhm.
scoring the ball. She's played well all year, but she's scoring the ball, running the offense through the paint, and you can relate to that because of the position you play as well. But just what can you say about Brianna and how she's kind of emerged in the score sheet the last couple games?
Yeah, I was able to play with Brianna a few years ago in Russia, so I know what she's capable of doing. And I just feel like right now she knows and she's comfortable in her role, and it's just day by day that she's getting better and better. So what she's doing now, I feel like is just the start of what she's going to be later on in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Emma. This is Charlotte Cal with the Athletic. It's nice to meet you.
Hello, nice to meet you too.
Just playing the Sky again tomorrow, what you guys kind of took away from the previous two games and having that be so short of a span to play them again, and just kind of what your focus is.
Our mindset, it kind of is like a playoff series if you think about it. I mean, out of our last 4 games, we've played, or we're gonna play them 3 out of those last 4 games. So it's basically learning from our mistakes in the first game, seeing what we did great in those first couple games and adding on to that, and just working on those little things that we missed in those first couple games and just getting better at that.
Are there any other questions for Emma?
I'm
Good.
all good. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. Thanks, Annette.